Well, hello, Benjies. Welcome to the BingeWorthy Podcast, part of the Geekish Network. I'm your boy, Johnny Randolph, or you can call me Randy. And I've got three fly-ass dudes with me tonight. My first co-host, this guy, what is he? I mean, he's a serial entrepreneur. He's part owner of the Geekish Network. He's a technologist. Tell him who you are, Chuck. Tell him who you are, man.
The guy that makes it happen. That's
my role model, guys.
Wow. Thank you, Neeson. Thank you.
Oh, and my man, he's back at home. I call him the game spitter because every day you can catch my man spitting that fire on Geek Beast or the BingeWorthy Podcast. He's an influencer. He's an actor. He's a writer. Man, tell him who you are, Chuck. Tell him who you are, Centel.
Oh, hey, y'all know I love this. BingeWorthy, I get to let the follicles roll down a little bit.
The follicles.
I get to kick back. Hey, don't have no bald snaps up in here, bro. Don't do it.
Hey,
don't
man,
do it. Your mama raised you better than that.
Hey, man, we look good. We look good, man.
No, of course, man. I'm just happy to be here with y'all. It's gonna be jokes aplenty and some good insight, man. It's gonna be tons of fun on this one.
Oh, and tonight we got a special guest. I'm gonna let my man introduce himself to the BingeWorthy audience. Nason, tell him who you are, bro.
Oh man, I'm just a black man that does dope black things. That's pretty much about it, guys. Just happy to be here.
Mr. Multi-hyphenate.
Yeah.
Mr. Multi-hyphenate. He does everything, you guys.
Yeah, I hate running down my list of things. All I know is
because we'll be here all day. You pick a whole show for you to run down the whole entire list. Professional wrestler, rapper, singer, director, pimp, hustler.
Hey, fans.
Right. Hey, they locking people up over rap lyrics now. We got to keep all that stuff on.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to get us all on a Rico.
Out there, man. They running the Rico brothers for rap lyrics. So, yeah, don't be putting that man's business out there like that.
I'm going to put Chuck in the song. I'm like, I told Chuck to pick up a couple chickens. They'll be like, so.
Already got me.
All right, and Benjies, as you all know, we are the BingeWorthy Podcast. Man, how y'all fellas doing tonight, man? It's gonna be fun. We're gonna get it cracking tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. So tonight we are evaluating Atlanta. Now, the premise of our show is that each week we will binge watch an entire series, and then we come right here to the BingeWorthy Podcast to talk about that series. At the beginning of the show, we are going to rate the series based on our unique BingeWorthy scale. And then we're going to engage in some high-level, captivating, and scintillating conversation. And then at the end, we're going to re-rate that series. Now, our conversation could influence us to lift that rating up, or sometimes it might drag that shit all the way down to the floor. Speaking of our BingeWorthy scale, it is as followed. At a number 5 is what we call a full binge out. That means this property is outstanding. It is dynamic. It's one of those things that, you might curl up on the couch with your significant other and watch that shit all the way through. At a number 4, it is called a full meal. Now, a full meal, it is not quite a full binge out, but it is definitely worth your time to invest in watching this property. At a number 3, we call this a mini meal. Now, a mini meal, it isn't bad, but it's not good either. It's kind of, Courtney, in her absence, she always calls it a bland ass TV dinner, and I always say without adding the Lowkey seasoning to it. At a number 2, we call it a snack. A snack, it's edible, but you don't really enjoy that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like the months when football season is over with and basketball season is over with, and it's just boring ass baseball out there. It ain't nothing new on Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of the streaming services. You just hate watching that shit. And at number 1, we call it a cringe-worthy. That means it was a complete and utter waste of your time to watch this. And occasionally, just occasionally, I remind him, Chuck, why the hell did you recommend we watch this?
So Naomi.
Oh, see, we will not speak badly of Ava here. That was a conscious decision. That was a conscious decision. We will not slander Ava here. We will not. Wow. She's a Black creator. We cannot slander here. But yes, Naomi. Yeah.
You can slay Ava. Ava rises from the dead.
I'm sorry. DMX. I'm sorry. DMX.
And we do got to give a shout out to the lovely Miss Courtney Scott Wright. She's not able to be with us here, but we always sending love to her. All right, so we're gonna start, man. Centel, you ain't did this in a while, so I'm gonna start with you,
man.
Bro.
You know,
yeah, it's been a minute.
Stretch. I feel like I got to stretch with y'all, man. You know, that first step might not be as good as it used to be, man. Let me see.
All right, James Harden. All right, Harden.
Oh, wow. James Harden. Wow. On heavyweight, making it rain a little bit before the game, right? All right, I got it. I got you. So, bruh, how are you going to rate Atlanta?
All right, listen, you know, when I saw it and while I was in the mix and I was loving it, I binged it. It was binge-worthy, all of it. But then there's something about it not sticking the landing for me that's just bothersome. It gets under my skin. And I wish there was a way that I could do like a 4.5, because the content is probably some of the most courageous content I've seen a writer put out in a really long time. It's written for a specific audience, which you don't see that a lot. You really see a lot of stuff watered down with the inclusion clause. Everybody needs to be included into this thing. And this ain't that. You know, it's got a specific group of people that it's talking to, and I respect the fact that they respect my time enough to talk to me like that. You know, so I'll say I'm gonna give it a 4.5, only because it didn't really stick the landing. I was expecting a little bit more towards the ending.
Now, you ain't been gone that long. You know we ain't got no 4.5. I know. I said full bill, y'all.
Full mill. I'm gonna give it a full mill. I'm gonna give it a full mill, and I want y'all to convince me maybe to change that up.
Okay. All right. Oh, so we're gonna jump to you, Chuck, man. How are you going to rate Atlanta?
I love this show. Similar to Centel, I thought the way it ended, I wanted more from the whole entire cast, and it ended on Van. However, I am going to give it a full meal. I may go up talking it out with you all. I want to go up, but I have so many things to say about this show. Oh my God, this is something I would write. And yeah, this is inspirational for me.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to jump in, and Neeson, I'm going to let you back clean up.
Please.
Okay. When this Atlanta first premiered, I'm talking season 1, it struck a chord with me because it is a show about Black males. And in this show, it captured all the nuance and the diversity amongst different Black males. We kind of never seen characters like that, right? He was smart, you know, but he was kind of struggling a little bit. Paperboy's on his grind. And what's my name? Darius. We've never seen that kind of character before. And I thought it was just brilliant in season 1. Season 2, I thought it was equally as good. Now, there was a long hiatus for season 3. And in that time, the entire cast became stars in their own right. Like Donald Glover became one of the hottest rappers in the world, right? Paperboy became an Eternal. Van was in Deadpool, and things. And Darius was just doing all kind of things. So I was like, season 3, they don't want to do this bullshit. They are only going to do it because they are contractually obligated, and it's going to be trash. I'm so happy I was wrong, because I thought this show, it veered into a direction we have never seen before. The one-off episodes, they were tackling issues dead on. They did not shortcut anything. I had a great time with this series, and I am just upset that it's going to end next season. So for me, it was a full binge out because I watched this and I couldn't stop watching it back to back to back. So for me, it's a full binge out. And then I'm gonna turn it over to you, Decent Man. Bring us on home. How are you gonna rate Atlanta?
Well, you guys said all the things. Yeah, you said bars pretty high. Okay, so Donald Glover, Childish Gambino is one of my same age-ish idols, right? Like he does everything that I want to do in life at a higher scale. So much so that, long story short, he chose Chance the Rapper over my group, and I would never let him down for that. That's the story for another day. In real life, that's what happened.
Multi-hyphenate, my role model.
Not gonna hold any grudges. But when watching from the first season to this season, I thought the same thing as you. I seen myself in a lot of these characters and relationships with just other Black men, and certain situations, especially the first season, it was just these. It's about basically this coming to age rapper, like from the hood, and he ends up saying in the last season, which I like evolution of his character more so, Alfred. He ends up saying, like, I don't give a damn about the streets. I shot in words, right? It's like I shot dudes, and it was just like, this dude came so far, and even Donald Glover's characters came so far to being like this manager where he never, usually these managers come out and be bad people at the end, or he even asked him like, yo, who owns my masters? He said, you do, right? Like that was a dope to me as a musician, and as some like that, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna say, well, we do, or something like that, and he was just like, you do. And it was like, man, this was just about love, and those were so dope. But again, I think everybody pointed out, well, 2 out of 3 you guys pointed out, the landing just didn't stick because in season 3 you had these great look. I love the fact that they took risk and told these one-off stories, and they told these basically Donald Glover got on his I'm gonna make Sundance inside of my own series, right? Like, I don't need Sundance. I am Sundance. Which I thought was great. Like, cool, man. You just got off. You got your creative rocks off, man. That was dope. But I felt like it took a backseat to the character arc of these characters, or just the story development of them, and that took a step back to it. So honestly, if it was a 3.8. Or I know. I see you shaking your head. I heard you. Well, I heard you go
half measures.
I know. I heard it. So I'm gonna go with respect and to what these actors, because again, like you could tell, it definitely was like, okay, we gotta do at least 10 episodes. I only need you guys in 5. We shoot in like 1 week, probably, or 2, but I will have to go to full meal, like a solid full meal. And last thing I want to say is them shooting digitally, but making it feel like it was shot on film was one hell of a choice. Like I forgot, it's been so long. I forgot how just warm that cinematically it looks, and I had to look it up again. I'm like, oh yeah, they shot on the RA. Oh yeah, it was digital completely, but they made sure it was shot on a lens that made it feel like film. So just kudos to them all around, but a solid full meal.
Okay, so a full meal. So we got 3 full meals and a full binge out. That gives us a score 4.25. So if we're rounding that, we'll round it down to it's a full meal as of right now. So that's what we're starting with. All right. Yeah. So one of the notable aspects about this series is that it had an all-Black writing staff, which is kind of unheard of in the entertainment field. So
almost, because the director is of Asian descent.
Okay,
I don't know specifically.
Yeah, he's Japanese,
but he's of Asian descent, right? And he's also one. But it's minority. It's all minority run.
It's the minority writing. So I want to start with you, Centel, man. What did you feel about the writing of the overall season?
It's brave. It's bold. That's the thing. Like we've got some really great new age storytellers right now. It is a great time. It's like almost like a new Black Renaissance-ish type feel as far as television is concerned, and in other areas as well. But I see it more so in television because that's my bag. I love me some TV. So we're seeing people take a lot more chances and being a lot more daring. I don't think Donald Glover he didn't write everyone, but he was in the writing room on all of them, right? And then he found some other great storytellers and put them in a position for them to tell this story. And then, to make sure, like what Deason was saying, that the aesthetics were correct and gave them all the tools they needed in order to bring it to form. I like it when we have control over our creatives, over our ability to do this storytelling. You can tell when things get whitewashed and watered down. And this does not feel like that at all. I mean, this is also maybe an indication of maybe the contract that Donald Glover is getting later on regarding him having like full creative talent over at Amazon Prime, because they can trust him in order to do some good storytelling. So from the storyteller's standpoint, I'm just happy that we can be bold enough to take risks, to even make mistakes. Things not are going to always stick the landing, but we've gotten to a space now where everything doesn't have to be perfect. We talked about Ava DuVernay a little bit earlier and how she's had some big misses, but she's still here. You know what I'm saying? I love Ava. Don't get me wrong. Don't get twisted. Ava is dope, but she's had some stuff that doesn't hit, but she's still here. Whereas just even 10 years ago, especially 20 years ago, if you ain't knock it out the park, you gotta, you had to fade the back. Right. So I'm glad that we got writers that are willing to take these chances and just let's see why not. Let's see if it sticks. Maybe I do want to kill somebody with a baguette. Let's see if that can work.
And I mean, our white counterparts, they get time after time because there's been a lot of our white counterparts who put out a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
For years.
We have an Indian one that puts out a whole bunch of bullshit.
Well, he's not white, but like
in the white, I said Indian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They try to tell him like he's Bollywood. Like, he ain't been out no hit, son. He just had the movie come out now.
Yeah.
I turned it on for the first 15 minutes, said nope. Are you talking
about Shyamalan?
Yeah,
Shyamalan.
Yeah, he's been bad for a long time, though. Like, a real long time.
Yeah, he never can land a plane. That is crazy. That's
As a matter of fact, he's only had like one good movie.
Yeah.
What? Was it Signs?
I don't know, man. I like Broken. I mean, was not Broken, but the very first superhero movie with freaking.
No, the one
not Mr. Glass, the original
people.
one.
The one you see dead people.
Bruce Willis in it.
Sixth Sense was what I was thinking.
Is his magnum opus. Undoubtedly, it's his best film. But the other one where he had Bruce Willis playing the superhero, the real strong dude with the
oh, Red.
No, not Red. The one where he's got two other spinoffs.
Yeah, let's not waste time with him. Okay, so Chuck, this series it deviated from like the standard television format to me.
Yes.
For unique one-off episodes, how do you think that contribute to the overall quality of the series?
I thought it was very unique. When I watch this, he always puts me in the place of Twin Peaks, where Twin Peaks was. Like, it's kind of surrealism, but it's grounded in reality. And then when he did this season, I was like, oh my God, this is Twilight Zone. Like, he even had the horror feel. It's like, yeah, me and Jordan Peele got an argument, and he thinks his psychological horror is really good. Wait till you see my shit.
I feel like
that first episode, that Lake Lanier episode, that's based on a true story. But the kids die in Lake Lanier. 2 white women drive off a cliff, killing 3 black kids they adopted. And they find out all the rumors, feeding them raw meat and everything. They find out all the things about these kids. And I was like, and L'Aquarius and who he was, and he had a vision in the future where he's haunted by the souls of the people that drowned in Lake Lanier when people flooded that village and killed all those black people.
Which is another true story.
Another true story.
It really happened.
And then his mother not understanding that and giving him up and thinking that he goes away for a week or two to like juvenile detention, he'll come back all right, not knowing the horrors that these kids face when they're not around their family, who's there supposed to be there to protect them, no matter what they do, no matter when they act out. So I was like, yo, this is heavy. I was like, this is Twilight Zone. This is what Jordan Peele really wants to be. And then I was like, okay, that's a one-off episode. Then he got back into the normal groove of people. Then the next episode, they took me right back out of it. And I was like, this is interesting because you're playing with reality now. You know, as these guys are in Europe doing their thing, this is what's happening in the real world. They're gallivanting through Europe doing drugs, fucking hoes, going to jail in Denmark, having a good time, being N-words in Amsterdam.
The greatest time.
Yeah. But in reality, there's a lot of things going on.
Right. So, Nisa, I'm following with you real quick then. Are you okay with a series being called Atlanta and it's season 3 and they ain't show a stick of Atlanta in this whole series?
They did.
Absolutely, I am, because it's not about the location, it's about the person, right? Atlanta's in the person. They are Atlanta. They're taking their culture, they're to Amsterdam, to France, to London, like they are Atlanta. So I'm all for it being called Atlanta, and them, gallivanting and frolicking along the channels and with the mites. It's great. I respect that.
All right. So guys, the one-off episodes really got to me. I had just never seen a series deviate that much within a season. Like, I think it was almost half the episodes were outside of the normal parameters of what the season was about. So I want to talk about them more in depth. And I'm going to go with you, Centel, the big payback. We get an officer worker who finds out, right, that their family owns slaves. And my girl showed up at the doorstep giving zero fucks.
We slamming my door.
It was like, this is my house. And she was picking out her decollage and everything. Like, yeah, I'm moving up in there. But it was a deeper thing. So what did you think about the big payback?
Yeah, I loved it because Reparations has always been like, a barbershop kind of conversation. It was like, what would you do if reparations was a real thing? How do you go about it? I mean, we've seen people tackle it before. Dave Chappelle has a really famous sketch regarding reparations. I'm rich, bitch. That's where that came from. It was that sketch. And how are we going to get down with it? And to dive into the mind of Donald Glover and have you do it, it just adds a lot more depth. It takes the jokies and the barbershop conversation and makes it like 3D, if that kind of like makes sense. Because the thing I really love about Atlanta storytelling, especially this season, is really steeped in a lot of like history. It's steeped in a lot of other references that you can actually look up and see, how maybe that can pertain. And this show, it's just it does a really good job, especially this episode, of forcing a perspective, one that you may not even be necessary to accept. And you get to see, I love the fact that they made this dude a regular dude. He wasn't like some white supremacist that had absolutely gone over the top to do black people wrong. He wasn't like an overly leftist person that was trying, to pacify black people. He was just a regular dude. He's just a regular dude that got caught up in the mix, and now he has to pay for the sins of his father. And I liked that because there's so many people, at least the people that I know, people that aren't black people, white folks that, they think they're just gonna like, wasn't my father, it's not really my thing, I'm not really trying to get involved. And this was this dude. And they took that character and forced him to have to look at something regarding like why we are here, why race is an issue, and what can we do to kind of correct it. So it wasn't overly jokey, and it wasn't overly beating you over the head with a lesson regarding the history of why reparations is something to be considered. It was just a very interesting tool to force a perspective to a conversation that we've been having, God knows for how long. 40 acres and a mule, baby. Where's my shit?
Yeah. Ever since, right? Ever since black people like, we want our 40 acres and a mule. So was anybody on the side of the white guy? Was it unfair? Anybody ever had them thoughts? Was it kind of unfair that he had to give up everything?
I'm gonna be honest. I was like, when at first I'm like, yo, shut up. Like, cause she was just from her like going into the house. I was like, bro, if you don't throw her out this house, like, and her like standing outside the job.
Okay.
I'm like, look, I like, it's better. I'm not for calling the police, but we gonna call the police. But I guess they didn't say it. but they said it at the end, you know, it was legal, right? Like this was a thing where you had to work to pay back a certain, like to pay back your reparations or whatever. So yeah, she was annoying as fuck. Fudge. She was annoying as fudge.
No, you can say
you can cuss on the show.
Oh, she was annoying as fuck. Get out of my house.
Yeah.
Stop my daughter. My daughter? You coming here? You on live? Man, you in my property. You better, yeah. Oh, yeah, nah.
And like
Showing up at your job.
His wife changed her to what she claimed she was Portuguese or
she was Panamanian or something.
No, he had a good line. He was like, you was just
Peruvian. That's what it is.
Peruvian. Yesterday. Yeah, but what's really interesting?
Yesterday.
Right, you was white yesterday.
What's interesting was the conversation he had with the other white guy that shot himself in the head. You know, and he sat there and said he was sat there and told him, like, look, race has always been tangential to us. We can turn it on and off. It's something we observe.
Yeah.
And he says now it came back to haunt us. We had all the room in the world to fix this problem early. We didn't fix it. And so, like, he's the white guy's like, I had to leave all my stuff too. And I ended up here in this hotel. Because as you have one black woman chasing him, he made it seem like he had many black people chasing after him.
Yeah. And you know, that actually flipped it for me because I was with you guys. I was like when the black woman showed up, I was like, if you don't get the hell up out of my house, I thought he was gonna hurt her. And then it was gonna escalate really bad, right? I thought he was gonna hurt her. And then then he was gonna really get into trouble. But then that conversation he had with that white guy, I was like, yeah,
it's not yours. Right. So this is the problem that we ignored.
Right,
we had the luxury
and now it's come back.
And I thought the black woman was showing what white privilege feels like for black people.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what
she was doing.
Right.
That's what I said out of my house. The Homestead Act.
Right.
There was a really dope moment that I thought was really interesting, and it was one of the more shocking and jarring moments. And that's after white dude that's, preaching and giving all the backstory about it. He's real calm and cool, collected. Seems like he's, got it, a good grip on things, right?
Yeah.
White Earn is what I'm talking about.
Earn, Earn. His name is Ernest.
And then he blows his brains out.
Yep.
And it's a moment that makes you, it's jarring. It's like, oh my God. And everybody in the little coffee shop is shocked and running around like, oh my God, this, that, and the third. And the black dude comes up and was like, oh no, this is just what it is.
This is what's going to happen.
His indifference was what was jarring to me, because one of the main things you hear all the time is like, the violence is going on in Chicago, and you see so much white indifference regarding some of the trauma that black people go through, when it comes to infant mortality rate, when it comes to healthcare from COVID, when it comes to any and everything that black people have a problem with, white people are generally indifferent to, absolutely indifferent, because it's not affecting them. And in this moment where this white man takes his life because of the new trauma that he's going to have to deal with, the switch, it was the black dude that was indifferent. Everybody else was freaking out. He's just, Dave
Chappelle,
what happens.
Dave Chappelle had a joke. He was talking about like the pandemic of all the drugs that's going on in Ohio and in the white communities and things like that. And Dave Chappelle said, for the first time, I know how white people felt about the crack epidemic, because I didn't give a shit about seeing all the white people on drugs either. So that was like when he killed himself. Like, that's what it is. It's like when I saw it, I was like,
but there's more to it. Like he said a good thing. These are cruel, unavoidable ghosts, but we're not haunted by it.
Yeah,
they're not haunted by everything that happened to them. We are cool, unavoidable ghosts. And also, people don't understand. Ernest, that white guy, he was in the first episode of this season.
He was in the first.
Yeah, he was the white guy. He was in the last two. He was in the season finale.
Yep.
He was in the boat with him, right?
Yeah, he was in the boat.
Yeah, he was in the boat. Yeah. So
he started it. He bookended. He started the season and he ended the season, because it's his bag that shows up in Ern's apartment.
And the one thing that Neeson said that stuck with me, like, Atlanta is something you take with you. So it explains the mentality of Ern, Darius, and Alfred, and how they're different. And even Van, their mentality. And all these stories are taking place in Atlanta back home. All these one-off stories are taking place. And they're not in a timeline. There's no timeline when all this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's like all metaverse. like,
and I was shocked. Like season 1 was the one we had about the kids. I came in a little late to when it first premiered, and I was like, what am I watching? I didn't know what I was watching. I was like, is Earn about to show up? Is Paperboy about to show up? Because I didn't know. It wasn't until it was like 25 minutes in, I was like, I got to see this from the beginning because I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. And then I had to go back and watch it, and I was like, oh, they serious.
These are the stories that made us.
They not playing. They for real with it. Another one of the one-off episodes that had me in tears was the one about Sylvia and her family with the no, it wasn't Jamaican. It was Trinidad.
To the bone.
Trinity to the bone.
Man, when that little white boy was in church and the preacher was preaching and he was like, yes,
he knew exactly what to do.
Oh, I cracked up, man. I thought this was so great. So Nisa, man, how'd you feel about this episode?
I you know what? At the end, side note, I felt like this was very Black Mirror-ish, right? Like this was very like Black Mirror. So, and at the end of that episode, when you see the kid and the caretaker and she's smiling, but she has the same smile you give her, she was like, like, yeah, I got you. Like, yeah, I got your baby, right? And I also thought it was a great what's Tom Hanks' son's name?
Chet Harris.
Yeah. He shows up.
Yeah, he shows up. I just think they won the overall series. They found interesting ways to play with these characters that are so polarizing in real life and putting them in situations to where they humanize them. And you could tell like this little kid, can you get mad at this little kid if he's basically raised by his caretaker and he's black and like that's curry, have the bomb spicy mango curry.
He can eat it, and the father couldn't eat it.
And then the father, he was like, "This is bland." He was like,
bland.
I can't eat this bland shit.
Bland? Like, when your child tell you something that's bland, I know that was just like bland.
And the father tried to eat that curry and burnt his throat. He was like, "Oh my God, this is hot." The boy was like, "This is delicious."
I loved everything about this episode, really, or this short, because it also showed the other side of that. That mother gave so much time, and as known in Black history, Black women raised all these white babies, right? Like during, in these slave houses, like they was in there teaching the kids how to read. They was in there taking care of the kids. They was in there feeding them, cooking for everybody, and then had to go up and please the master. And then they had to go back to their family that's out in the outhouse or whatever the case may be, and just have a little bit of time for that, right?
And the daughter brought that up. She was like, you all were busy raising all of them, but like, I needed you, right? And then the sister was understanding of it too, because she was like, mama was trying to make a living for us. And not even just for us, for like the entire family, because she brought other relatives over too to try to help them. So it's an interesting dichotomy.
It's like she sacrificed herself, raising somebody else's kids, neglecting her kids, and the sacrifice of building her family up, hoping they would see that.
But that's what we do as a culture. Like
that is.
I can't say this enough. We are the only culture that it's like, oh, you turn 18, you got to get out and get your own because I worked so hard for you to go and leave. When every other culture is like, nah, you stay here as much as possible, get married, and then we'll buy you a house, whatever. Like, so you can make sure you're straight. Yeah. Like, so it's just embedded so much. And I thought that was a great conversation piece from the two daughters to even the brother. I think it was her brother, and he was like, yeah, well, if you're looking for another caretaker, right? Like, just to try to take that opportunity even more. So I loved everything about that one, man, because it's a lot of conversations that we have as people.
This is how much that Black woman was there. She had her mail delivered to their house.
Yeah, she did that on.
They didn't even know. They didn't even know she was on email
with no return address. That was creepy. She did that on purpose. That was
okay. Now you touch on something I kind of want to talk about. Like, if you really look at it, it's low-key a revenge film. It's low-key. It's a revenge film on the low, and it's real subtle about it. And you see the big pieces of the big payback. I mean, I know that's not the name of this episode, but the payback that she's having, this revenge spirit. the big payoff is that I got your kid.
Yeah. I got you.
Mind, body, and soul. I got your kid. And that's the end game.
And we see what he's going to look like.
And you see the smirk. You see the smirk in the photo. It's so subtle. And I love that it's 3 different photos because it's different moments of, you know what this is. I got him.
I raised him.
And we see what he's going to be in the future. Because remember the one with the, because it's like, he's like, where you from? Like, I'm from someplace in New York. Like, you
Queens, I'm from here.
Yeah, like, why people keep telling me that?
In the slick way she haunts him. Like we ain't gonna talk about Gooch Liquor. We ain't gonna talk about Gooch Liquor. No, nobody saw Gooch Liquor.
Yeah.
In the middle of the service, she get the picture of the taint. That's an old lady taint, homie.
Oh,
Gooch Liquor. That's her haunting.
Yeah.
Listen, the banging on the beating on the door. That's a haunting. Look, no, look, and here's a really funny low-key thing. I didn't think about it until a little bit later. And I was in the car and I was driving, I just started laughing. And in the very beginning, the white lady was like, dang, she left so many of her clothes in my closet. I didn't even realize she left this many clothes. And she had like her,
she took over.
It looked like kind of like nightgown, maybe kind of thing. But get this, the little boy at the very end was like, I miss Uncle such and such.
Uncle
now,
such.
You've been around the East Indian community. Uncle means my friend, and I'm not gonna tell you the real details about my friend. Yo, she was smashing in the house.
Yes. Right.
Absolutely.
That's what you tell him to call him. Call him Uncle Charlie. Uncle Charlie come over.
She dropped small little nuggets of revenge because you can't overtly do it, right? Because you're in a position, you got a job, you can't lose, but you do little things to kind of like, I'm gonna get a little bit of get back. I'm gonna do a little bit of get back.
The
and then
parents
you get a chance to see that.
And we saw the parents' self-assumption with themselves, right? The father didn't want to take the son to school, didn't want to do this, didn't want to make his lunch. And they had somebody doing all the things they should be doing as parents.
And she was doing it better.
And she's doing it better.
Because she took him to school.
The mother drops him off at school.
Right, she takes him to school.
Yep, and she drops him off at school. And she was like, she walks me to class. Sylvia walks me to class.
Right. It was so bad that the teachers were even telling the parents, like, where have you all been?
Yeah, why you didn't come to why you didn't come to student parent night or something like that?
Because she was there.
It felt like that moment in Juice when once he get back to his locker, he can't get the locker back.
Oh yeah,
he's like, damn, it's been that long.
Omar Epps can't open. Yeah, and they take off the book and it's dust on it. All right, so we got one more. I'm gonna go and touch on this one. It was the rich wigger, poor wigger, down on his luck. Mixed race high school senior attempts to get a full scholarship. So we got some real interesting stuff going on here about what it means to be Black and what it is to be Black culturally and ethnicity. So Chuck, man, how'd you feel about this episode?
Man, I love this episode. Oh man, modern day passing. Where this white kid's passing as this Black kid's passing as white because his mother's not around. It's the father raising him. And the father probably doesn't know that his son is passing as white. Like you'll learn. You'll know.
Oh, he knew. His daddy know.
Yeah, he said it. He was like, "You got that white friend." Yeah.
But his dad, I like that his dad was just regular than a mug. It was just a regular old papa.
But his dad could have signed the FAFSA forms.
It was like, look, I can't pay for your school.
Dad did sign, but he could have signed the FAFSA forms, man. Come on.
But there's a lot of Black parents that don't. We have Morehouse brothers that didn't sign the FAFSA form. I have Morehouse brothers that come in freshman year, hop out 2 semesters, save money, hop back into school. Takes them 8 years to get out of Morehouse, but they choose to go there. So their parents refuse to sign the FAFSA for them. And that's more common than not. So I found this interesting. And he wanted to pass as white so he can hang on and go to Arizona State University because that's the party school that all the white kids
blow your back out.
That's blow your back out university. I'm not trying to tell you, if I make a trip to Arizona's worse than Dominican Republic. And it's a lot closer. And it's a lot closer.
You got this. You are strap up if you go into ASU.
Yep.
I remember
I sit there and watch this guy named Julian do his YouTube at Arizona State, and the stuff that he says, I'm like, wow.
Well, years ago, like this is old, like Playboy listed the best party schools. And they said, what about ASU? They said they don't count, they're professionals.
Yeah, yeah. They've been legendary for like the last like 30
they're not amateurs,
years.
they're professionals.
Yeah.
So we didn't include them on this list.
Wow. Playboy said that.
Yeah. At the height of Playboy, right?
And his girlfriend's amped to go there. And I love the fact that a black dude slid in her DMs. He didn't slide in, he slid on her comments. Boom. And she responded.
And she instantly was like, yeah, we're done.
If you were black, this might be different.
Yeah, if you were black, this may be it. Man, yeah, that
and the fact they had Kevin Samuels in
okay, I was
Kevin Samuels killed it, right? Did he? I mean, it's his last kind of thing. He killed it, right?
That had me kind of feeling weird. I was like, man, this dude is killing it. Yeah, it was right. I was like,
but he killed it.
It was like 4 days later, man. And I was like,
especially when he came to the school. He came to the school. He was like, "You got shot by the police. That's the blackest thing you can do. We taking care of your medical expenses, and here's the check for the tuition."
I didn't even peep George Wallace. I ain't seen George Wallace in ages.
Right?
George
Wallace came there.
Yeah, George Wallace was
on it. It was on it.
I knew it was George Wallace from The Voice. It was The Voice.
Oh man. Yeah, I can't lie though. But you know what? It was some funny things too, because while they was doing like the black test, like my chat groups was exploding, and they was like,
yeah.
I don't think I passed. It was like I was like looking for the where you had to like really do a deep dive. I was like, yeah, man. Six?
I was looking for that sixth one. I said Hennessy. I said I got 5. I got On the Rocks. I got Straight. I got Coke. What was my other one? I couldn't get the 6th one though. I could not get
Incredible
the 6th.
Hulk, man. What you doing?
Incredible Hulk. Yeah, that's what it was. I did Thug Passion, Incredible Hulk, On the Rocks, Coke, Shot. I couldn't come up with a 6th one. I couldn't come up with
what I'm saying. Like
Ginger Ale.
I never had Hennessy and Ginger Ale. I've never had it.
I had Hennessy and Ginger Ale. Yeah.
Okay, and Hennessy and apple juice. There's a bunch of them.
But also, I would have failed
Hennessy all day.
Of course, I did have a friend that
was the brand manager for Hennessy in Las Vegas. So I probably know way too much about Hennessy.
Yeah. I got 5 easy. All right. So all right, let's move on, fellas. So in season 1 and 2, I thought Earn was like the worst manager ever. I really did. I was like, this dude is terrible. But in season 3, did we see some growth, or was it kind of the same old Earn? I'm going with you, man. How'd you feel? We see some growth? Start with you. You see some growth, or was it kind of same on you?
Absolutely, man. He was one of my favorite story arcs of these 3 seasons, or character arcs of these 3 seasons. Because, like you said, he was a terrible manager. Didn't know what he was doing. He was just basically like fumbling his way through things, and now he's over there handling tours, taking care of, like, trying to get phones back and all, like, but he's navigating through this star life. And then my favorite line from him during this whole season was that line of like, you own your masters. It was just because that just showed like, nah, I actually learned something to do all of this. I actually putting that work in, that time in. For him, the first episode, from him just waking up with a random white chick that couldn't speak English to like hopping on a plane and making sure a van got picked up, you seen that he was on this level. And I know someone that is exactly Earn in real life, like the Earn now, and just knowing like Donald Glover had all the mannerisms of a real active manager of an A-list star that's doing his thing. And it was like, that's why I was like, I'm really happy of the character development. And also that's why I was mad, because I wanted to see more of that. I want to see more of that.
Okay. Centel, man, Paperboy, in season 2, he got robbed because, he was kind of out and about. He has a similar situation happens where he gets a little lost in Amsterdam, and kind of Darius leaves him. So is his character still struggling with his identity, or is he kind of moving closer to self-actualization?
Well, I mean, the whole overall arching theme is like, dealing with your ghosts, right? Be it Black culture in general, and all the individual characters of the show are kind of like dealing with ghosts of their past. It's hauntings through almost through every episode, almost. And in this one, it really like sticks the landing. I mean, it hits the nail right on the head regarding, is he being true to himself? And he's being judged by either the spirit of hip hop, one could be interpreted by that, the spirit of the culture, it could be interpreted by that, it could be the spirit of his mother, it could be interpreted by that. And they did some really cool and creative ways, especially by making the character androgynous. I believe she is transgender, which I thought was actually pretty brilliant, because you can't really pin it on who's giving this feedback, right? Be it women, be it men. It's just, everything is just what it is. It's the new jazz. She represents it. I think that was the name of the episode.
Yeah, that's what she called the new jazz.
Right. Like, so for him, in order for his character arc to really go all the way around, is he had to do it. It was like that battle with Link when Link had to fight himself. He had to really look himself in the mirror and then like be weighed. He had to be weighed and measured. And he was weighed and measured by what I think were the things that he think is important to him. And that is the music, the culture, and his mother. And he had to take that trip in order to make it to the other side, to find out that he's going to be all right. He's in good hands. He hasn't sold out completely, at least not yet. He's still salvageable because that spirit saved him from being canceled, So I really enjoyed that journey of him going off, and he had to do it by himself. And then I think he came out on the other side a lot better. And now we'll see how that translates if he goes back to Atlanta. We'll see.
And he was right. And the transgender character was right. That hat was hideous. I was like, what the fuck is he rocking? I said that when he first showed up, man. we kind of got a theme here going of
I like that hat.
Of Ghost.
I know. I like that hat. I don't know.
I like that hat.
I was agreeing with her.
But the goofy hat had me chuckling though.
Because he's a goofy.
It had me dying.
He's a goofy.
Yeah. The goofy hat was
the goofy hat was
that's one of my favorite episodes. That episode I think was just brilliant.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, didn't we? Right?
When he says Lorraine,
dealing with his past.
He was like your
future.
mom.
Yeah, Liam Neeson,
yes,
that was hilarious. That was the great. That was the one. It was
uncomfortably honest too.
Yeah.
Like, I hate you, niggas.
How honest are you right now, bro?
like that's true. Like,
and he was.
That's how he said it in the interviews. Yeah, I got mad. I just wanted to kill the first Black person I've seen.
I saw.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I got over it. He was like, but I don't have to deal with stuff because I'm white.
But I don't have
mic drop and just walk out like,
there's nothing y'all could do to cancel one of us.
Right. And I was thought to myself, how the hell did Donald Glover get Liam Neeson to do this?
Man,
dope, just dope. Donald Glover had people doing all kinds of stuff in this show.
I guess so, yeah. He had
one of the Scars guard. Yeah, I mean, he bagged up some.
He had a movie star. Jacking off at a party on a TV show.
Donald Glover hands you this script. It says, "I want you to be you, and this is how I wrote you. Do you want to do it?" Because you understand, he was supposed to have what's his name in there, in the Gray Man movie.
Yeah. No, not him. The driver.
He's in Gray Man too.
You talking about Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, not Jake Gyllenhaal. Drive.
No.
The driver.
He's always brooding. He's always brooding.
Yeah. He did the one. God damn it. Never mind. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There was supposed to be somebody else, but he didn't work out. We'll just put it like that.
Yeah. But he's supposed to be in it as well. But I think that was like my favorite episode. It was like, because he's like, yeah, what happened to Lorraine? And Ern looks at him and was like, your mother?
Yeah, that's what I was like,
shit.
But I was like, this is
Ryan Gosling.
I feel like
Ryan Gosling.
I feel like this is his. I was like, this is his high. This is his high, guiding him, speaking through what he really needs to see and hear. And then by him ending outside where he first seen the guy, and then
him and Darius walk by him.
Darius is like, that's just a tourist. Like, don't worry, like that's just a tourist or whatever, right? It's like, yo, you are too. Like, you're just Like you're just visiting. Like you're literally just tour. Like you're visiting. You're here to see the side, but like on some deeper meta, like you're visiting this plane, and we need to show you the real you, and you need a guide. And
it wasn't just Darius walking by with a tourist. It was him and Darius walking by.
Yeah, it was.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
But it's not the first time like they've been. This whole season has been like them on a different plane. Like when they go to the party, and we haven't touched about it. That party they went to was just like, whoa! Like we're in a new universe right here. Like where are we in this world? It was like, wow! And when he was playing cards, he was like, this motherfucker growing trees and stuff like that, man. It was
one of the oldest trees in London.
Yeah,
I have one of the oldest trees in London here. And I have this fast food place that everybody likes. It's like Chick-fil-A. It's supposed to be a moniker of Chick-fil-A. Like you got this in your
Nando's.
house.
Yeah, first of all, Nando's. We need a Nando's in LA right now. I love me some Nando's. Nando's.
I didn't even know, but so it's a real place. I didn't even know.
It's a real place.
It is. I love some Nando's, man. I was very sad. Guys, very jealous.
Okay. We got to talk about, so y'all touched on it. Sticking the landing for the series. So Van, throughout the series, she kept disappearing, and it culminates in her whereabouts in that final episode. So what do we think is going on with her character, and how does this contribute to the overall narrative of the season?
The play on Amelie's crazy.
Which is a good movie too, by the way. And I love the oversimplification of French people. Because black people oversimplified.
What you got to say? Nisa's about to say something.
Nisa throughout the field goal sound like.
Your question is to the point of why I wish I could give it a 3.9 or 8, right? Like it's because you have such an amazing arc that I wish it could have been dove in deeper. I felt like making those short films and these one-off episodes, these amazing stories that you're telling, but taking that time away from continuing with this amazing character development that you're doing. Like what broke her out was her, like just the thought of her daughter. And then she's just like, I'm just chilling on it. Like, I just beat a man with some bread. You had some hands. You was a part of baking and feeding people hands. Like you did coke or some shit. And spit on it. It's a whole.
You're in magazines. You're in magazines.
You're in magazines. You was about to like commit basically suicide. He was like, well, if this is it, if this is the way I'm gonna go out, like you was Pepe Le Pewing the whole time, and then you just break. Like I wanted more of that. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly why I want to pull it down more, because you had all of these amazing characters that you only give me little bits and pieces. This chick was pushing people in the pool and laughing about it and just walking away and giving thumbs up text messages. I know if your friend, my friend, any friend did that right now, you try to 5150 them. That's what you're trying to do. Like,
she never broke character in that French accent. Like even alone,
it was terrible. It was a terrible French accent.
And let me ask you guys something real quick. Go ahead, Cynthia. No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, but I was gonna say here's the thing about it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, but it wasn't what I needed to stick the landing. It's weird. I feel really conflicted about the episode. The brilliance is Van is Donald Glover. That's Donald Glover in real life. That's him when he first got on. He didn't really know what he was doing. He got on. He got to Hollywood. Weird. Everything was changed. He might as well been in a different country. It spiraled out of control for Donald. He didn't even know what he was doing. He couldn't explain some of the things he was doing. He felt alone. He was literally like on a bit of a walkabout. And then something happened. I don't know what exactly happened in Donald Glover's life, but somebody from home more than likely came and was like, nigga, what is you doing?
Probably his brother.
What are you doing?
Yeah, probably Steven. You know what I thought her
Snap
story
out
was?
of it.
Let me tell you what her story was. It's a metaphor when Black people go abroad and they lose it. They don't want to come back here. So they forget their whole entire identity prior to that. Then something that they care about, cherish, snaps them back. Like Tina Turner with her British accent. We can think about Kanye when he did Niggas in Paris and moved out to Paris. There's a lot of things that have Black people thinking like, I'm over here. I'm in this other place. I'm one of them now. I'm no longer what I used to. And I tap whatever madness I jump into it. As someone that lived abroad for 3 years, you jump into the madness. You're like,
and you're dealing with those ghosts that we've had throughout.
But you forget who you are.
You know, there's no rules for you.
Forget who you are.
Have you beat people with chopsticks before? Like,
hey man, I can't talk about the stuff all the while.
But let me
I've done some really wild stuff that's probably not legal in any country.
Let me ask you guys something though, real quick. So the series was season 3 and season 4 were shot back to back. So does it make a difference to you if this is a part of finishing out? The narrative is over 2 seasons, and we're just kind of ending in the middle to pick up to be able to stick the landing for season 4. Does that make a difference in how you?
No, it felt like I was watching a Disney Plus series. It was just like, you give me 6 episodes of this, and then I gotta go away for 10 months until the next film that's supposed to connect to this comes out. That's gonna eventually get pushed back another 3 months because it was a production issue with another film that's supposed to connect to it. That's what I felt like. So I just felt like, man, that's some bullshit.
I think go ahead.
Go ahead. I thought this was interesting because they gave us this fever dream of going abroad. And as somebody that lives abroad, that's what it was. It's a fever dream. When you go abroad, it's like nothing's real. Go to jail abroad, whatever. It doesn't even count. It doesn't count.
I don't know that Russian and that black basketball player, that female.
Yeah, that's different. Though. She's in Russia.
I don't know.
But a country like Denmark, Japan.
They was gonna lock up ASAP over there too, man.
China.
They was gonna lock up ASAP over there for a minute.
Have you been to jail in Japan?
I'm not talking about anything I did in Japan.
Oh, all
I'm not talking about anything.
All right, guys, we gonna bring it. We gonna bring this in for a legend.
But then they gave us that. They gave us fever dream. Then they gave us horror episodes. And that the juxtaposition of those two mixing the whole entire time. The last episode was them, but it was a horror episode. And they ended on a mixture of both of those.
They ended with somebody getting peed on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and the dude choking on it.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
And somebody eating hands.
Yeah, the whole thing, right? It was so absurd. It was like, we got peed on episodes, getting beat with bread. We got hands eating. Like, this shit is far out. Y'all talking about on a different plane. I was like, yes, this ties into the whole narrative of this season for me.
And I thought this was a mirror of the last season too, because this is the episode of Robin's season. Like, she was about that life. Robin season 2 was people about that life.
Yeah.
It was people about
Robin
that life.
Robin season,
And it opens up with him robbing the.
We even had the Alfred episode when he's all by himself, when he got lost in the woods and he got robbed.
Yeah.
This is part of Robin. This is like, wow, this is interesting.
So it's like Ghost, and it's like the stupidity of
Ghost, the haunting.
And how it impacts us in our decision making. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. But we gotta keep it on moving, so we're gonna re-rate this thing. We started with you, Centel, last time. So Neeson, we're gonna go with you first, man. How are you going to re-rate Atlanta? Now you don't have to change it. You can.
No. I think you guys, I mean, look, it was a great conversation about it. Clearly, this series is definitely thought-provoking and inspiring. They take so many risks. It's a cultural monument, honestly. Like, people could come, sit at it, watch it, and learn from it. Doesn't change my rating. Still a full meal. Still a solid 4 because of that damn just breaking up these character development. Give me my character arcs, damn it.
Cool. Chuck, man, how you gonna rate it?
Man, I almost want to go to a binge out. I almost do. Because you just told me that season 4 was filmed at the same time. And I just feel like that's going to be completely different. It's going to be some comedy shit, probably. I'm going to still stay with a full meal. But, man, they're going to be matter of fact, I'm going to move to a binge-worthy for one reason only. They're going to be studying this series in schools for the next 30 to 40 years.
Facts. Not about character development, though.
No. The first 2 they're gonna do about character development. This third one they're gonna be like, this is when a pandemic happened. He decided to take it off the rails and make it one of the blackest shows we've ever seen.
Didn't give a damn. He even talks about
He made it very black. This is black horror.
He was mad. We didn't talk about that.
Black horror done royal.
He was just upset.
Him and his brother Steven, they crushed it.
Okay. I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna keep mine the same. I loved it. I thought it was one of the most original things that I've ever seen, and it just continued that tradition that Atlanta has provided to me since that first pilot episode. So I'm going with a 4 binge out. Chantel, bring us on home, bro. How you gonna rate it?
Like Chuck said, I remember the first time I heard about I think it was MIT was teaching classes on The Wire. I never heard of that before, ever, especially for something that is such a big part of just, the Black culture, the Black experience. The Wire is just classic. And I feel like Chuck hit the nail right on the head regarding this. This is like one of those projects that it has to sit with you, like Trinity to the Bone and me, just mindlessly driving down the street and the moment hits me and I'm like, wait a minute. That's how this entire series is. It hits like that. It's a lot of it's just like gumbo, man. You just get you a spoonful and you just kind of go in and you see all the different things that when it comes together gives it it makes it just full of flavor. I think it's interesting, the Donald Glover experience, because I remember Donald Glover when he wasn't popular. I remember when people thought he was corny because of short shorts. He talks about it in his music and how he's able to go from that to where he is now, and then all of a sudden like get a type of credibility when who he was as a person was kind of questioned in the beginning, and now he's like this righteous savior of Blackness. It's just comedy to me. And I think he kind of talks a little bit about that through his work. I think a lot of these episodes reflect about the hilariousness, the amazingness, the duplicitousness of just the Black experience. It's a lot to us. And he puts it to us through that light. In hindsight, I do think it is binge-worthy. I'm actually going to go up on it because I also have to think about and consider all the things that he had to go over. He had to go over COVID. Like you said, Stars, whose buying power has greatly increased. And I'm sure there's probably going to be some creative differences that go along with it. He's shooting overseas. It's a lot of stuff. And he was still able to bring back this product with all of that going against him and it being 3 years delayed. That's a lot. And then still make it classic. So I got to give him a binge worthy just for that monumental amount of effort.
All right, so that brings our score up to. That's how So that brought it up to 4.75. We're gonna round that Mamma Jamma up, and we're gonna have a full binge out for Atlanta. All right. Got anything to say before we head out, man?
Man, I can't wait for season 4. This has me so excited. I hope it goes out with a blast.
Me too.
I hope it hits as hard as This Is America video the first time I saw it. The song was all right, but the video was like, wow, this is amazing.
Cool. Centel, bro, you got anything to say before we head out?
Y'all one up that just a little bit. I'm also waiting to see what he does when he has full reigns over at Amazon. They gave him a whole bag of money. It was like create. So, and it looks like he's doing some experimentation with some world building that we saw in this episode. So let's just see, what else he can do when there's no reigns. You just do you. So yeah.
Neeson, bro, we appreciate you stopping by, man. You got any final words before we head out?
Yeah, Donald Glover team. My reel is on IMDb. If you need a actor, director, producer, songwriter, performer, gaffer, not really, but all those things. Producer, executive producer, creative director.
He moves like water. He's like Bruce Lee when he does his thing.
Talk your ish, man. Talk your ish.
I think I honestly think that it's great because you're talking about how him coming from and not being respected, kind of like, being like the outcast of everything. I've always admired this man ever since I knew he was the youngest writer to ever win an Emmy from being a writer on Saturday Night Live, or 30 Rock. I'm sorry.
30 Rock. Yep.
30 Rock. And since then, it was kind of like, I like this path. I went to UCB because this kid, I went to, did the whole NBC thing. So it's like seeing him go to have full creative control and kind of develop this series. It's truly inspiring. And I didn't want to rate that into my actual, story of the arc and everything, because, character development, I'm really about that. But man, it's inspiring. I can't wait for season 4. And I can't wait to see what we do at Amazon 1, because look, Amazon is going to have a couple of things. They're going to have The Boys. They're going to have Lord of the Rings and Donald Glover. So it's like, they're putting their money, they're putting their money in only a certain limited amount of spaces. When you have people cutting down like HBO Max, and you got people going even harder like Disney. So to know that a black person, a black creative from the culture really and really takes pride in representing it in their own way, but uplifting it, has one of those little pieces in that big puzzle, I'm all for it and support it.
Well said, man. So thank you, Benjis, for tuning in. And as always, shouts out to Digital Click. They provide this beautiful surrounding for us to look our best. They are masters at marketing and promotion. If you are watching this on YouTube, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're watching this on Twitter or Facebook, don't forget to like us as well. The Geekish Network, we are a network of underrepresented people to represent them. We have artists, actors, directors, writers, tech, behind the scenes, managers, producers, the full gauntlet of entertaining enterprises. And we do this for people who look like you. We were joking in Crosstalk. Yes, we are all black. Right? Do not adjust your screen. But that representation does not end there. Asians, Latinos, any sort of underrepresented people. And what this world needs is more love, more representation out there right now. So please tune in next week. The same geek time, same geek channel. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.